Right, if you're a slightly worried Leeds fan based on the West Brom result, then you're in good company. Welcome back to our Whites Walk. Stay with us for 15 minutes because we've got some hot topics where myself and Jacob are going to debate. Here's the latest from social media. Antonio says, ask Farke about Ramazani. What the F is going on? That's our first topic this week. Why is Ramazani not getting more game time? Plus, why, after every dodgy Leeds result, is there an Aronson Pile-On? Is it fair and is it deserved? We'll get Jacob Deighton's view on that in a second. Plus, we're asking you to nominate the February player of the month, but the unsung one, who deserves more flowers than they're currently getting from the fan base? And the Championship has announced the playoff final will now take place on the 24th of May. Who would we, as Leeds fans, like to sit with our beer in our hand watching in Wembley? And we'll get Jacob's view on that as well. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Mark, a neutral that covers all 24 teams in the Championship, and we have one of the up-and-coming hot journalistic prospects covering Leeds United in Jacob Deighton with us. Right, Jacob, we're covering the West Brom draw. Just as a summary, do you think there's been too much of a negative reaction to that one result? If it's 7 points out of 9, it's still a good result, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. You look at the run we were on as well, like Sunderland, Sheffield United, and West Brom. Back to back. It's always tough. And I would have bitten your hand off if you said we get 7 points from all of them. Obviously, didn't expect. I thought we beat West Brom at home, to be honest. After the past 2 games, I just thought that momentum would keep going. But West Brom are a good side, obviously, probably going to be in the playoffs. They came to Ellen Road and they actually wanted to play football. They didn't sit back. They had a really good 20-minute spell in that first half and deservedly got the goal. So fair play to them. It was a good game of football. It's just frustrating that we couldn't really create that one magic moment. We couldn't score that last-minute winner again. That's the way it goes. There's no need to panic. We're still clear of Sheffield United, obviously clear of Burnley, but they've got that game in hand. And what's massive for us is that they've got to play each other. And you look at our fixtures now, maybe Middlesbrough away was probably the one that jumps out to me as the toughest.
Yeah. QPR away possibly as well. Does that worry?
Yeah, after last season, that's a good shout. Yeah.
It all ended at QPR, didn't it, last season? Right.
Yeah.
Or against QPR, sorry. Right. What we do on this channel is we have a look at some social media takes, some good, some bad, some that will make you as a Leeds fan tear your hair out. But we'll run through them. Anyway, here we go. First of all, Ben LFUC says it's a massive lesson to those who are so arrogant after Monday night. Nothing is decided. If anything, put your money on the traditional LUFC collapse. We never win at 12:30. Ampadu missing is huge, and we are mentally weak as P. It's going to happen again, isn't it? And there were a few, not many, that said along these lines, oh my goodness, Sheffield United getting jammy again at QPR. It's all those signs of last year, when Blackburn came and beat you at Ellen Road and QPR beat you. It's tell everyone they're wrong, Jacob.
Yeah, no, agreed with you, to be fair. I think it is just that worry that, we've bottled it before. Everyone's like the Leeds burnout. Always happens after that international break or, whatever. But you look, we've lost 3 games in total. We're unbeaten in the league since, November. Sheffield United and Burnley are going to drop points, but especially, Burnley with the amount of draws that they're getting. It'd be a miracle now if they go and win every single game to the end of the season. But realistically, that's probably not going to happen. And we've still got, I don't really know what the worry is. Obviously, yes, we've drawn a game at home, but it's against West Brom, who are obviously playoff contenders. No need to panic. We've got the best goal difference as well. That's such a bonus. And just take the point and move on. It's a point in the right direction.
Right, let's get into what our title of the video then is about, which is about Ramazani. This tweet says, a point is a point, but Jesus, that was rough. Passing was atrocious. Wingers had a stinker. And not using Ramazani is crazy. Another one here says, frustrating watch, but 8 points clear. Ramazani and Noto should be getting more minutes, though. So, 2 questions here. Should he be getting more minutes? And do you agree with those tweets? And why isn't he?
Yeah, agreed. I think definitely should be, but you look at the form of Manor Solomon and Dan James. Solomon's been a little off it like the past 2 games, but still you can't knock him for the way, his dribbling and his creativity. But yeah, I just feel that injury that Ramazani got earlier in the season kind of killed his momentum. Obviously, he scored on his first start against Cardiff, scored in that game against Watford when he got injured, and obviously he scored against Sheffield Wednesday a few weeks back. Brilliant player to bring off the bench, obviously, but it seems like Farke doesn't want to use him. Farke is got his set in stone on his starting wingers, which is Manos Solomon and Dan James. It really doesn't, and even Aronson. We could drop Aronson. He's played probably the most games, started the most games out of everybody in the team, and isn't getting dropped for some reason. He hasn't been good enough either. But Ramazani definitely deserves more starts, especially in the running. He's a player who can pop up with a goal and a bit of magic when we need it.
Yeah. Is it an issue between him and Farke, or is it just that? I mean, Farke's been accused of having favourites in the past and being stubborn. Is this another example of that?
Yeah, I suppose it could be. Obviously, you never really know what's going on behind the scenes unless something does get leaked or whatever. It could be like an attitude thing, could be like Jed Spence, but obviously it doesn't seem as serious because he's not released Ramazani or anything. But no, it is a shame. The fact, we brought him in from Spain, and he's, obviously I think it was that injury which probably killed him. But even then, he's got to be starting a few more games. He's got the quality and he's shown it.
Okay. Let us know what you think of the comments below about Ramazani. The other player we were wanting to talk about was you've already said as Aaronson. Black Sheep says Aaronson is the worst player I've ever seen in a Leeds shirt. So poor. I'm not sure too much on that because you have had some stinkers. Jameson says less Aaronson should be the starting point. But Noto didn't impress either. He's lacking commitment in 50-50 duels, and Ramazani here deserves a run out when many of our players are fading as Rothwell and Firpo look dead on their feet near the end. I'm surprised we didn't use more subs. We'll come on to that bit in a second, but let's talk about Aaronson. There's a huge pile on Aaronson every single time Leeds drop points. He seems to be the scapegoat that Leeds United fans want to use per game. First of all, is that correct, and is it fair?
I mean, I saw a tweet earlier. He's got 8 goals in the league. He's probably scored more than Jorginho Rutter did last season. Obviously, Rutter had a lot of assists, but I mean, I would say it's harsh. But watching him yesterday in the past few games, he has been off it. Like he's quite good at carrying the ball, but just releasing it, he's not very good at. His passing's kind of off. You look at the goals he's scored; they've all been from inside the box. He's not really a midfielder who's going to score from range for you. But I do feel it's a bit harsh. He's got the fitness there, 100%. But there's no harm in changing it about. Nonto can play in there. We saw Mateo Joseph come on yesterday, and even against Sheffield United and Sunderland as well. And he can obviously drop in there, or Joel Pirot can. So it's just all about rotation for me, and I just don't know why Farke, sticks with him. Obviously, when he's scoring and whatever, it's brilliant. But when he's not, something's got to change. He's got to roll the dice a bit more.
Yeah. The other person that gets criticism when these results don't go the way is Farke himself. And, last season we had so many Farke out hashtags going on around the time of the season. Not seeing that yet, but Ryan says it was absolutely terrible. Farke is showing himself for what he is again. He sat and watched that rubbish for 70 minutes before making a change, and then he brings on Joseph. Whatever happens, I think we know that come the final whistle at Plymouth, Farke is gone. Do you agree?
There's a lot of overreactions on Twitter, I have to tell you. On top of that, I don't know what much more people want us promoted now. But yeah, he is stubborn with his substitutions. But I feel this season, like the fact that we've got an incredible goal difference, the best in the league. We've seen it in the game against Sheffield United and Sunderland. His subs worked a treat. You can't really knock him for one game. You can't really knock the players for one game either. They're probably burnt out playing 2 Monday nights in a row. That drains you emotionally. Obviously, it's a fantastic result, but they work so hard. But yeah, I mean, we've got plenty of subs. We've got so much quality on the bench. Why not utilize all of it? I think the main criticism of him is he makes his subs quite late. We rarely see a change at half time or 60 minutes. It's always about 70, 75, and then it'll be Joseph for the final 10. That's the only criticism I have of him, really.
Yeah. Okay. There's been criticism of the league this week by Leeds fans as well, in particular the scheduling of Leeds games. So tell me if Leeds fans just need to put a sock in it here or not. And, I know that Leeds fans will be watching this going, don't be so rude. But so Pompey this Sunday, which we'll come on to in a minute. Then Millwall at home on the Wednesday night. Now, this is what's irking Leeds fans, is that if you look then at the next fixture, the QPR game, that's at 12:30. Obviously, Leeds fans aren't happy that you've got us playing late on a Wednesday and then you've got the earliest possible kickoff to travel to London against a tough team in QPR, of course, as well, as an away fixture. Do you think there's anything in this? I mean, there's a tweet. The league hates us and wants to make it as difficult as possible. The shortest turnaround with QPR, 12:30 on a Saturday, 3 games in 6 days. They couldn't have planned it better for our detriment. Anything in that?
I mean, it's Sky Sports Leeds, isn't it? It has been all throughout our time in the Championship. And I suppose if you're top of the league and the most entertaining team in the league, you're going to be put on TV nearly every week. And unfortunately, with the Championship, it's the early kickoff on a Saturday or the early kickoff on a Sunday. Obviously, we've seen Friday and Monday nights, but I mean, I'm kind of used to it by now. You see the news pop up and you think, oh, it's just the norm, isn't it? We just got to, I'm sure the players won't be, won't be too affected by it. Obviously, the turnaround is quick, but they've got a job to do, and they play at different times in the week. They're on TV or 3 p.m. kickoff. But yeah, I guess obviously for travelling fans, it's a pain, isn't it? Especially with Pompey being at 12 on a Sunday. For the team, I just think it's going to be business as usual, and we just got to crack on and take every game as it comes.
Are you at all worried about these next 3 fixtures? I mean, Pompey are very good at home. They're very direct, and obviously have a great crowd there. Millwall have already beaten you twice this season. Okay, one was against your B team in the FA Cup, but they're on a good run. And QPR have just taken Sheffield United to the sword and really should have won. So, is this a tricky period for Leeds this week or not?
Yeah, they all are. Like the run-in is so difficult. No matter who you're playing, every team is pretty much fighting for everything. The playoff race this season is probably more competitive than it has been in recent years, with the amount of teams that could still get in it. And obviously, the relegation battle is nowhere near done either. And we've got to go Luton away. Obviously, Pompey are, you could say they're out of it by now, but there's still a chance they can get playoffs. There's still a chance they could go down. They're kind of in the middle on the fence, and they're going to want to beat us and continue that good home record. Obviously Luton, rock bottom, aren't they? So got to get something there. That'll be a tough one. And then QPR are obviously up there as well. Obviously they've fallen off a little bit, haven't they, recently? But they've still had that really incredible run recently. They're all going to be tough. They're all going to be tough. Even our home games, we saw it last season at the end with Blackburn coming to Ellen Road and beating us, and Sunderland getting a point. So yeah, no easy games. Just got to take each game as it comes and just be clinical with our chances.
Cheers for that, Jacob. We'll get your February Player of the Month in a second. Before that, do subscribe to the channel. There are tons of brilliant Leeds podcasts out there and lots of Leeds content. This is, of course, the only one where we review social media reviews, and as bad or as dodgy as you've already seen as they have been. So join us weekly for this 20 minutes of Leeds chat. You can listen to it on your way to work as well. Right, Jacob, February Player of the Month for you. Not the one officially the club are going to probably hand it out to, but who for you should get it? It's the unsung.
I think I'm going to give it to Joe Rodon. I think he's an unsung hero in that back line in the team. He's a leader on the pitch. He's not scared to go into any challenge. Good in the air, good at driving forward with the ball, and he's been integral to our clean sheets and our goal difference this season. Obviously, popped up with a few goals himself, which is nice to see. Header against Derby. I can't remember what the other one was now. I think he's got another one, but anyway, yeah, popped up with a few goals this season as well. I just think he's been brilliant. He's pretty much played every game that Farke has asked him to. 90 minutes week in, week out. He's been excellent. So I give it to Joe Rodon.
Brilliant. Good shout. Finally, then, it's the 24th of May when the Championship playoff final is going to be heading to Wembley. You'll be sat in a beer garden with shorts and so. Oh, come on. Leeds aren't going to be in the playoff final, surely not.
Surely not.
Right, come on then. Let's manifest it. You've already gone up. You've been promoted already. Who are you going to be sat watching in a Leeds beer garden come the 24th of May?
I'd really love to see Sunderland in the playoff final. I think their style of football's pretty similar to ours. When they came to Ellen Road, they made a really good game of it, and obviously they're getting some good results. Got a really good young squad as well. I'd like to see them in it. Maybe a little bit of a different one. I'd like to see Bristol City in the final. I think Bristol City have kind of overachieved this season. Obviously, we kind of laugh and joke about Bristol City and Preston being the 11th, 12th, 13th nailed on every season. But obviously, I think they're pretty much overachieving, and they've got a good home support, getting some good results against the sides around them and in the bottom half. Obviously got a point against us earlier in the season, so that'll be a tough game at Ellen Road. So yeah, I'd like it if Bristol City, got up there. But there's so many good teams in that playoffs.
Yeah, there's about 12 teams that could potentially
I
take
think it
to that
probably
place.
will be Burnley who win the playoffs, though. I just think their game management and the way they don't concede goals, I think it'll probably get them over the line if they're not automatic.
Okay, good. And there's no way Leeds are going to be there, are they? They're already. It can't be. No, it's not going to be Leeds Norwich. It'll be not going to be Leeds Norwich semi-final again, is it? It's going to end up that way. Right. We'll check on you with you next week. Good luck against Pompey then, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Thank you very much for watching. Great to have you on with us. Drop us a like and subscribe, and we'll hopefully see you in 7 days' time. Cheers for watching.